Have you ever asked, why are some married couples able to create a plan for happier married life while others are unaware of their real challenges?
Why do some discover themselves while others live in denial?
And why are some people happy while others are disillusioned?
In this workshop, we will share the answers to these questions so you too can sustain happiness in your marriage.
Hi, my name is Charles Osezwa, founder of the Institute for Work and Family Integration, an accomplished businessman and a social entrepreneur. My wife, Gloria, and I are married counselors and therapists. We created the Married Couples Relationship Program, MCRO, to enable married couples achieve happiness in their marriage as part of an overall strategy to build better families, better businesses, and better society. Welcome to our workshop, MCRO. In this workshop, you are going to discover a blueprint for creating a plan for happier married life. This is going to immediately help you know yourself and understand your spouse, navigate the minefield of married love, and this will bring it home to your relationship so you can agree and create your plan for happiness in your marriage. Once you get this down, you start to experience the benefits of a clear vision for a happier and fulfilled married life.
So, if you are in the phase of discovery, but you aren't getting to know yourself and your spouse, or you are in the phase of navigating the minefield of married love that is not giving you the meaning of true love, stay with us, because we are going to discover why married couples like you and me can get clear vision for a happier married life and why it's critical you get the plan handled right now.
The goal of this workshop is simple: to help you easily sustain happiness in your marriage. And that will give you a greater opportunity to experience fulfillment in married life. Are you ready to make this happen?
Before we dig in, we've got to warn you about something critically important. Not paying attention to this virtually guarantees conflict, disunity, and dissatisfaction in marriage. Right now, you might think you don't need help. Every married couple has problems. I am not the first to get married. I am a good person. It's my spouse that needs to align. In fact, you may think that your spouse is the problem. They just need to trust you. If only they could just listen, they will know where you are coming from. And you even move to the extent of they need to change or resign to fate. There is no point. I just accept this as my lot.
What if instead you take this course and engage with the right experts? I guess this may be pretty different from what you have heard before about enriching the lives of married couples. But this fundamental shift is why this blueprint works so well. In fact, you might have already tried to discover a way to have a happy married life, and it didn't work out the way you had hoped. Today, you will see how to do this in a whole new way. I'm sure you will agree. Finding happiness in marriage isn't always as simple as some people make it. It comes with its challenges.
Like maybe playing the blame game, discussing with other couples, or even doing nothing and hoping for the best. You wonder, can we really be truly happy in marriage?
If it sounds familiar, we get it. So many of us married couples have tried the exact same thing. We have heard the little voice of doubt in our heads, wondering if it is possible. And I'm here to show you it is. That is why in this workshop, we are going to demystify the process of discovering a way to have a happier married life, which will save you a lot of frustration. In this first video, we are going to share a methodology based on science, tested and trusted, which we have used for over 40 years. It is called the inside-out approach. If there's conflict, disunity, or dissatisfaction in your marriage, this will serve as a tremendous resource to eliminate that frustration and help you discover a way to have a happier married life. Maybe you are in the phase of knowing yourself and understanding your spouse. Or maybe you are in the phase of navigating the minefield of married love. Either way, you are in the right place. Because after this workshop, you will know how to discover a way to have a happy married life.
We developed this framework for you because we see so many married couples become completely sidetracked while trying to get a plan for happier married life. For example, we saw married couples who were in the phase of discovering, trying to know yourself and your spouse before they knew how to discover themselves. And if you are in this phase of navigating the minefield of married love and you are experiencing the meaning of true love, it's often because a better understanding of marriage isn't in place. We could go on, but we know we married couples need clarity and in full transparency. That was our story too.
Before we outline the inside-out approach and the specifics for each step, you might be wondering how we got into all of this and figured it out. Let me tell you, so you can understand where it's coming from. After more than 30 years of marriage, we thought we had it all worked out, had a wonderful marriage. I love my wife and she loves me. But little did I know that I was spending too much time on my business pursuits. And this was creating resentment in our relationship. So we went through this process which enabled us to listen to each other. I understood myself, I understood my wife better.
That's it. And to be honest, Charles doubted we could go through this process because he's a very busy man. And on top of that, he thought we could figure things out or they will resolve themselves.
If any of this sounds familiar, let me tell you, we know exactly what it's like. I felt uncomfortable and I even questioned myself whether I could do it. But I was tired of spinning my wheels. And I knew that creating a plan for happier married life was key to discover a way to have the happiness in marriage you wanted. So we set out to find a way to make it happen.
Once we got past his objections and we began investing in our relationship, we started seeing massive growth in happiness. Then we set out to do this, and it happened. Now we enable married couples to create a plan for happier married life.
And if you are ready for fulfillment in your marriage too, you are going to love what's coming up. Because this story doesn't stop with us. Everything we are about to share with you is the exact plan we followed to create a plan for happier married life. And it led us to experience a deeper understanding of each other.
More importantly, this means you will experience fulfillment in marriage too. And that's what we want for you. All married couples could use that, which is why we want to make this easy for you. So, coming up, we will share just how we do it.
The purpose of the Inside Out approach is to help you quickly identify the positives in your marriage so that you can discover a way to have a happier married life. To get started, we created a simple exercise in the MCR pack to help you keep notes and to provide you even more value from this training. So, as you go through each part of the blueprint, we want you to identify obvious areas of opportunity for your current situation. Are you ready? Let's get started. The Inside Out approach for married couples is an adaptation of the well-tested and trusted business methodology, or if you like, corporate methodology, for developing strategies for business. Which we call the Inside Out strategy, IOS. Now, as a businessman, metamorphosing from the business world to the world of marriage counseling and therapy, I could not but draw parallels between both worlds. What became clear to me is that the principles that work for business also work for the family and indeed marriage. So, in this short presentation, what I intend to do is to share with you how you can apply the Inside Out approach in your marriage. Like in business, couples get into marriage with a purpose. But in marriage, that is an adventure for happiness. Happiness is the currency of marriage, just like money is the currency for business. But like all adventures, soon you make discovery. You get to know each other better. And somehow some resentment occur because there's some conflicts that are inevitable. With knowing, we will embrace, but there are resistance. Because one spouse wants to control the other. We resist change. We are set in our ways. There's nothing wrong with it. That's the way we are constructed. It's inevitable and normal. Because when cultures meet, they are bound to be conflict. Remember, you're coming from two different families, two different cultures. You have different worldviews, paradigms. You have been formed. You have your character, which has been conditioned over so many years. And we have different motives for doing what we do. Call them our dominant personality or temperaments. These are the things that drive us. But These conflicts we talk about, and indeed the way we see each other, I keep using the word normal and natural. Let me just explain. You know, the problem is not today. In the late 60 or 70 thereabout, Joseph Lutz and Harrington Ingram, two psychologists, spent tons of time, lots of time, studying and trying to understand our human behavior. What was clear is that we all live in four quadrants. We live in what is generally called the arena, where I know myself, or what I know about myself is known to my spouse. So what you know about yourself, your spouse also knows. But we all wear masks, and we also live in that quadrant. What you know about yourself that you don't want your spouse to know. Okay. There's a blind spot. What your spouse knows about you, but you don't know about yourself. And there's an unconscious part, the fourth quadrant. What neither of you knows about each other. I use the word, these are natural. But what is also natural is that in a relationship, we all try to influence each other. Because I have my way of looking at the world, I want my spouse to conform to my viewpoint. And of course, conflicts occur. You see, your spouse is trying to consciously or unconsciously trying to change the known and the blind spots. The culture of your spouse naturally will conflict. And that's where you have all relationships, and to some degree, conflicts. But what I've described to you, in a roundabout way, sort of, is something we all deal with in business. And we use the same approach, the inside-out methodology, to sort of see how we compete. And the reality is, if I go to the market without clarity on who I am and what I am, I will be beaten all over the place. I will, just like you in your marriage, you respond to your emotions. And of course, well, we say we degenerate to the level of animal. So we fight, we quarrel, and that's it. So what do you do in business? You go back, you look at yourself, you do an internal assessment, and develop your process and procedure. You know it, you internalize it, and define your strategy. So you know the real you, what distinguishes you. Just like I said, otherwise you go to the market and you flounder. And you cannot achieve those targets you set for yourself. And you know, the same thing in marriage. If I don't know myself, my motivations, my worldview, and if you like, my character and dominant personality, I cannot really influence my environment. My environment will control me instead. And that's what I talk about. We respond emotionally. So what happens in business happens to us in our homes. But business has developed a methodology for ensuring they control what happens to them in the market. Point. What works for business works for the family. I cannot change the market as a businessman. I have to prepare myself to ensure, focus on my mission, and that I achieve my set goals and objectives. The same thing in marriage. I cannot change my spouse. We are set. We are married. The objective is happiness. So what do? I look at myself more closely, identify my strengths and weaknesses, I take advantage of the opportunities to make things work. The whole concept I'm talking about was made famous by Steve Covey, who indeed told us very clearly that our personal victory are first made in time. We have to learn to keep promises to ourselves first, to be able to keep the promises we made to others. And marriage is about promises, and we are invalidating those promises each time. And thus, we need to know ourselves and come to the realization on how we can improve to ensure we achieve the set goal. It's about training your will, exercising in freedom to do the good you need to do to achieve the goal you set for yourself, the goal of happiness. That's what I call profitability. In business, I am aiming for profit. In marriage, you are aiming for happiness. Now you know this. The inside out helps you to look inside before you start to look outside. You have to. It's a small training, it's an exercise. Sometimes it's an exercise for life, because in business, you're doing it again and again. We review our performance almost on a daily basis, like the accountant would balance the book daily. For businesses, look at it as weekly. And they do the monthly performance review and quarterly reviews. The same thing we should. Look at our lives. First, to know myself. And to know myself, I have to be open to feedbacks. Indeed, not just be open to it, I should ask for feedbacks. I take note of things that happen in my life, of every day. Take note of them. We should examine ourselves. Think about why you acted the way you did. And then self-correct. And gradually, you develop those habits that enable you to achieve the good in life. And if we do it frequently, it becomes a way of life. And therefore, happiness is achievable. But it's the first step, self-discovery. As we progress, we will know how to understand and know our spouses, and how we should walk the minefield of love. Because happiness at the end of the day is the fruit of love. What we want from you is a plan to achieve, to find happiness and fulfillment.
Now that we are clear about the inside-out approach, the big question is, how do you build a common strategy for a fulfilled married life? Hands down, this is the most important key to grow for married couples. If you can't discover each other, then you won't build a common strategy for a fulfilled married life. And without this, it means you will experience quarrels and conflicts. What if instead you could understand your spouse and their temperaments?
This doesn't mean having to work much harder. It's about working smarter. A way better results for the same amount of effort. It's possible. Now, how do we build a common strategy for a fulfilled married life? That's exactly what we'll show in the next video.
If you are in the phase of discovery, this will serve as the foundation, so you see how to build a common strategy for a fulfilled married life. If if you are in the phase of understanding the minefield of love, then you will be able to quickly put this into practice to discover each other. We are also going to introduce you to principles and provide you a framework that you can use as an ongoing reference and tool. Once you know exactly what to do, you will see it's easy to build a common strategy for a fulfilled married life. And we will show you how in the next video.
Before we go today, I would love to hear from you. Tell me, what would life look like if you could create a plan for happier married life? How will life be different when you discover a way to have a happy married life? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to read every one, and I will respond to as many as you can. And if you find this video useful, please share it on Facebook, Twitter, or even send the link to your friend. What you have learned here today is a simple process for creating plans for happier married life. It's a game changer in helping you find happiness in marriage. It's a key step along the way to reaching your goal. And that's when you can discover a way to have a happy married life. And more importantly, to have fulfillment in marriage. And what you've learned in this workshop puts you on the right path to get there. Next up, we will talk about how to build a common strategy for a fulfilled married life by following simple processes to help you discover each other. You know, I can't wait to see you in the next video.